Now, President Cyril Ramaphosa is currently at Eskom's Tutuka power station. He's briefing. Let's listen in.
The various impediments that they go through, part of it has to do with our own systems in government when it comes to things like procurement, not being able to give them the wherewithal so that they can procure spares and what they need on time within a specified period of time so that the power station and the units can continue operating. And of course, the other challenge that they face is corruption and fraud that is very pervasive in the power station, with a number of people who are involved in fraudulent activities and theft to a point where the theft and the fraud makes it very challenging for the power station to be able to operate optimally when there are shortages of spares, when they are stolen, they are not able to be in place on time as to be able to get the power station to function properly. That is a problem. That is being attended to now. The corruption is being dealt with, and people are getting arrested as a result of the actions that are being taken by the management, and we are grateful for that. And it is quite challenging to a point where some of our managers have to get protection, be protected because they are threatened as they are dealing with corrupt activities. I'm very impressed with the quality of managers we have here, because they are not only dealing with those challenges, but they are displaying a great deal of commitment to get the power stations working. I'm going to be meeting another group of managers at Megawatt Park this afternoon, just to get a closer insight of some of the problems and the challenges they are facing. So I'm really pleased that I got this opportunity to come and see for myself here on the ground. And having done so, we will be able to come up with a number of proposals that can effectively deal with the challenges that the country faces when it comes to load shedding. The CEO of Eskom, Andre de Ruyter, has said load shedding can be solved. And if we all work together, and I agree with him, we all have to work together to address the problem of load shedding. And they are doing as much as they possibly can, dealing with big machines, big equipment that they have to properly streamline to generate the energy that we need. And sometimes these big machines break down, and the people, though, are committed to making sure that they are repaired, and we just need to enable them. We just need to give them the capacity from our processes, from the funding point of view, and enable them to get the work done as quickly as possible. Because what is important is to put megawatts on the grid. That is our main focus. And a whole lot of other things we will attend to as we move on. But right now, my focus, the minister's focus, even the premier's focus, and everybody else's focus is to put megawatts, as many of them, on the grid as possible. So that, for instance, here at Tutuka, we should get all the 6 units operating. Right now, we've had 2 operating, another one is coming on stream, and they are going to work very hard to get the other 3 on stream, and they've already got dates that they've put in place to get all the units operating. When this power station functions well, it generates easily 3,500 megawatts. or so, and that is what we want to see Tutuka doing. It's one of those power stations that has always worked well. With a whole lot of problems that we have had, including state capture and corruption, Tutuka has been brought down. Now we are going to lift it again, and we are going to make sure that Eskom does rise. And my presence here today has also been to encourage them, to give them that encouragement that they should go on. And I'm glad that they've got a very good plan to bring the other units in Tutuka back on stream. So thank you very much. And with that, I think I've answered all the questions you wanted to raise.
Mr. President, here was Tutuka from SABC News TV. Mr. President, what I'd like to find out from you is what we've heard from Minister Mantashe about the possibility of SOE being coming on stream to help Eskom. How far advanced are those plans, and is it something that is possible with what resources that coming from this from government? And if I may just address my last one to Mr. Director, now that the staff complement that Eskom has come back from the strike, how much longer are we going to be in darkness, sir?
Well, oh, you want to raise another question?
Thanks, Mr. President. Fully Treaty Jones from BNC. Maybe just firstly, from my start, Mr. President, is a national address on the cards just regarding the energy crisis we're facing in the country. Will you be speaking to the nation soon as well regarding what has been the way forward and the feedback from some of the meetings we've been attending? And you speak about corruption and fraud, near Tutuka, state capture as well being involved. Have you received any brief from some of the more law enforcement agencies? I mean, there's been some concern about how the wheels of justice are moving very slowly. Are you looking into some of these matters as well? Thanks.
Can take those two, and then we'll take
Yes,
one
let's
as
do
well.
that. No, the issue that was raised by Minister Mantashe is a matter that will be given consideration, and it's a matter that is not going to be actioned now. What we now need to do is to reposition Eskom and make sure that we generate enough energy for the country. So that is our main focus. Other matters will be looked at in time. An address to the nation, it's something that we are giving consideration to in terms of looking at the various issues that need to be addressed. So in time, that will be the case. With regard to the reports that I have received, that the Minister and myself and others have received about corruption and fraud, we're pleased that people are being arrested, and those who are involved in acts of corruption are now being arrested, and our law enforcement agencies have started work, and they are going to continue, and that is going to intensify because corruption and fraud and indeed state capture have diverted our intentions to bring about progress in our country. So we are going to be paying close attention to issues of corruption and fraud. Unfortunately, here, as we speak, already the word is out that yes, we're focusing on going after those who are corrupt and who are fraudulent as well.
Thank you. The outlook for load shedding towards the end of the coming week, we should emerge from load shedding. We have already lifted our indication for load shedding going forward. We've got a couple of big units returning, so that's positive news. Towards the end of July, the risk will be significantly diminished once Kuberg 2 comes back to the grid. That's about 920 megawatts, so that will bring a large measure of relief. But ultimately, to put load shedding to bed, what we need is additional capacity, because the system as it is at the moment is still unreliable and unpredictable, and we need to give colleagues like Silo Momecha, the power station manager at Tutuka here, the headroom to carry out much needed maintenance in order to make sure that Tutuka power station runs like the oiled machine it should.
Thank you.
Mr. President, good morning, Tavi from News from Africa. Just on the issue of going beyond this particular crisis, in the past, there's always been an issue with maintenance at Eskom, which had seen load shedding, and now load shedding has come back. You were part of the war room in your capacity as Deputy President, trying to solve this issue. What guarantees can you give the nation that going forward, when this issue is resolved, you won't see the same continuing again?
Was there another question?
We're going to ask the question.
Nobukanya from EWN. Just to add to Dumalo's question, what mitigation factors are there? Perhaps the Eskom executives can add to that. The mitigation factors in place to guard against continuously facing fraud and theft of key infrastructure here at Tutuka as well, so that we're not constantly acting after the fact. What are the mitigation factors in place?
That's the last round of questions. No. Last round, please.
Just follow up, please. Just follow up.
Okay, Mr. President, can you please tell us a little bit more about who are the members in the task team that you've established to deal with corruption and sabotage at a number of power stations? We understand that there was a task team that was established. Can you just give us more detail about that?
Last round of questions, Mr. President. Mr. President, you've seen the July unrest happening, which was very deadly and embarrassing for the country as well. We're now hearing of the national shutdown due to Eskom failure as well. There's sort of political pressure coming your way as well. How will you make sure that you can put a curb to this, or attend to this matter as well? Because it does seem as though it's been on social media and something that cannot be ignored as well. Yeah.
Well, the issues of maintenance at Eskom are ongoing. Eskom runs machines, runs big machines, boilers, turbines, mills, you name it. And all those have to be maintained on an ongoing basis. And I'm glad that management at Eskom has a program to ensure that there is maintenance, and maintenance that will bring back a lot of megawatts back into the grid. So the focus is on maintenance, but the other focus, of course, is on increasing our power generation, of getting more power onto the grid. And once we have more power onto the grid and we get rid of the shortfall, we've had a shortfall of 4,000 megawatts. Once we can close that gap, we should be able, yes, to see the end of load shedding. So that even if some breakage does happen, and even if planned maintenance happens, if we have that buffer and those additional megawatts, then we should be okay. So I think that the focus has to be on that. I mean, these are some of the issues that we also dealt with also in the war room, and we are paying closer attention to all that now, maintenance and increasing